All right, hey everybody, this is Matthew over Channel 35, H&D, the hand, and today we are going over some Magic the Gathering Commander decks, and this one is Lord Xander the Collector, version 8, and you can see version 7 is already currently up here on Moxfield, ready for you to look at it in its entirety, and version 8 is coming up soon. So let's go over version 8. And I will go back and forth between the two, just pointing out a couple differences. But first, we'll just go through the standard stuff. So you got Arcane Signet for basic mana ramp, Dimir Signet, Izzet Signet, Lightning Greaves for obvious haste reasons, Mana Crypt for the best possible ramp you can get in Commander. You got Mind Stone here for another 2 mana ramp rock. You got Soul Ring, Swiftfoot Boots, Talisman of Creativity, Dominance, Indulgence, and Thran Dynamo. Now if we go back, Boom Pile. Now, maybe Boom Pile isn't the best, but the fact of the matter is, Commander's supposed to be fun. I like a little bit of randomness, and it can be better than its replacement card of Neverall's Disc. And you know why it's better than Neverall's Disc? Because Neverall Disc comes into play tapped, and 99.9% of the time, I want to say, you don't ever get to use Neverall's Disc. It's there, and by the time it comes back around to your turn, it's already been destroyed. So I got tired of that times a million, and that is why I switched over to Boom Pile, and I have been thoroughly loving this card. Even when I miss, it's totally fine. So all right, next up here, let's see, I skipped over Oblivion Stone, but Oblivion Stone is same idea. Alright, blow the board. Alright, let's actually go sort this by, let's see, type. Okay, so we'll just look over artifacts, and it is exactly the same, minus a couple changes, being Neverall's Disc. Oh, and Thought Vessel. You could play Thought Vessel if you want to. I never really feel the need to have no maximum hand size, so it got switched over to potentially drawing me a card. Alright, that's artifacts. Creatures. Creatures are the fun part of this deck. They're all so vicious. It's kind of crazy. So, alright. Well, first up, we have Author of Shadows. Author of Shadows is a crazy graveyard manipulator. You steal anything you need to win the game or ruin your opponent. And later on, you could block with Author of Shadows and potentially get it back from the graveyard and replay it. Baleful Strix, very good early game blocker. We got Consecrated Sphinx, by and large an amazing 6-drop that just completely turns the game in your favor. Like if they don't kill this, you win most of the time. Dazzling Sphinx. Dazzling Sphinx is on the maybe board currently, and just to show you possible replacements are Bismuth Mind Renderer. So it has Menace, so okay for being somewhat not being able to be blocked. Whenever Bismuth Mind Renderer deals combat damage to a player, that player exiles cards from the top of their library until they exile a non-land card. You may cast that card by paying a life equal to the spell's mana value rather than paying its mana cost. This is technically better just because it's 1 mana cheaper and it can get you anything. The negative is its life, and you can end up paying a huge amount of life in this deck, and you only have one way to gain life back, which is Shieldred the Apocalypse. Whenever you draw a card, you gain 2 life. Whenever opponent draws cards, they lose 2 life. So I purposely included this because I realized I needed at least 1 card to gain some life. Bare minimum. Like, give a guy a chance. But usually this doesn't come up. You're not tutoring for this. You're probably in control. But this by itself can win you the game, because whenever an opponent draws cards, they lose 2 life. So they are viciously punished for drawing cards, which is fantastic. So back to the top. Let's see. We're on Consecrated Sphinx and Dazzling Sphinx. Okay, Dazzling Sphinx. So Dazzling Sphinx itself does combat damage to the player. The player exiles cards from their library to the exile instant or sorcery. So it's instant sorcery specific, which is okay. The primary benefit of Dazzling Sphinx has flying, and it's a big body that deals 4 damage a turn. And while it's doing that, you can kill their creatures with their own removal. Now, your other option is Grimia, Saruman's Footman, and it can't be blocked, so also costs 4. Also technically better than Dazzling Sphinx just because it costs 4. And it also gets you an instant or sorcery card. So if you wanted to guarantee that effect, you could play the Footman here. But having played this deck a lot, I really couldn't care less about getting a random instant or sorcery most of the time. Maybe I draw a card, maybe I kill something. It's a good effect, but it's not like a great effect. But it's always good all the time. But the issue here is that it has an attack power of 1, and I have 0 ways to pump it. So I'm definitely thinking about swapping out Dazzling Sphinx for one of these cards. It's probably going to be Bismuth, Mind Renderer. I might try Grima here, but I'm heavily leaning towards the Mind Renderer. Give that a shot for a while, because Menace tends to be good enough. Tends to be good enough. So Eltai is a big bad card that lets you play stuff from the top of the library for free. Amazing. Fallen Shinobi, same idea, equally amazing. Top of their library for free. Gilded Drake got shuffled into here because I wanted more steel effects in the deck. So I was doing a whole bunch of library steel, which is cool. There's some graveyard steel. I wasn't doing a lot of permanent steel at the time. So Gilded Drake got shuffled in. It's 2 mana. It's amazing. So Junji is a powerful attacker. It's a 5/5 flying menace. And the abilities are a bonus, but they shouldn't be taken as like this is like the super duper amazing ability that I'm going to play off of, because it's really not. These are super duper good abilities, but it's an independent card. And this second part, put target non-dragon creature card from a graveyard onto the battlefield under your control, you lose 2 life, has won me so many games. It's ridiculous. It really is. Like, having that ability on an attacking creature, even if you're killing your own attacking creature, has won me so many games with Junji. Junji's amazing. So I pretty much never use this other each opponent discards 2 cards and loses 2 life ability unless there's no creatures in the graveyard. Alright, Kira the Swirling Sky, same value-driven proposition of Junji. Kira lets you bounce stuff, but I never really use that ability unless I'm desperate. Even if I'm desperate, like I think about it, like there's a Galta on the board, it's probably a useless ability. So I have to mill 6 cards and return up to 2 instant or sorcery cards from my graveyard to my hand. So you have to use the other ability most of the time. Lord Xander is the highlight of the deck. He's the commander. He's not necessary for you to win, but his effects are very punishing. And quite often you will eventually run out of spells, and this will be the only thing left to play, but it's always advantageous to play it because the very first effect, enter the battlefield, target opponent discards half their cards in their hand, rounded down. Amazing effect. The next one, whenever taxed, player mills half their library, rounded down. That can get you in trouble, but you are playing Graveyard Exile, so just pay attention to that. Whenever Lord Xander dies, target opponent sacrifices half the non-land permanents they control, rounded down. So, very, very, very often, Lord Xander comes into play, Lord Xander dies. Nobody wants their library milled. Even though, I don't know why, I only have, I believe, 2 Graveyard Exile effects, Author of Shadows being one of them, and I want to say Bajuka Bog. I definitely have thought about adding more, though. Let's see. Nashi Moonsage Scion is a ridiculously powered up 3-drop. Whenever Nashi Moonsage Scion deals combat damage to a player, exile the top card of each player's library. Until end of turn, you may play those cards. If you cast a spell this way, pay life equal to mana value then rather than paying its mana cost. So this is very often like 8 mana or 6. Let's say 6 most of the time. So you're paying 6 life. So that's the only question mark with Bismuth Mind Renderer, because you're paying a lot of life, and I already am very, very familiar with this effect. So yeah, but I'm willing to give it a try, see what happens. So you may be in and out very quick. Ragavan is a Birds of Paradise. It draws you a card from their library. Like, you get the treasure token, exile top card library, cast it, and you may, until end of turn you may cast that card. Super duper amazing. Rakdos, Patron of Chaos, recent addition of the deck. At the beginning of your end step, target opponent may sacrifice 2 non-land permanents, 2 non-land non-token permanents. If they don't, you draw 2 cards. So this is Consecrated Sphinx. Again. It was there was no reason not to like find a way to shove it in, and it's a 6/6 flying with trampled. There's 0 downside. Roxasha Debaser. So this is the graveyard steal, or one of the other graveyard steals. So whenever Roxasha Debaser attacks, put target creature card from the defending player's graveyard on the battlefield under your control. Obviously, this is not a fast effect. You could play a faster effect. You could play that costs 1 or 2. Play Reanimate at 1. So Reanimate at 1. So there's definitely faster effects. That's not really the point. The point is, I need my creatures to be able. Well, I need big attacking creatures to be able to deal damage. I also want a bonus to my creature, which is the whole idea for every single creature in this deck. They're all value driven. Shieldred the Whispering One got put in here as a value driven like topper creature because it costs 7. It was literally put in for removal. Quite often you have no creature of your own to target. But I've literally won games because They gave their stuff hexproof. I had no mass blow the board effect. They neutered my artifacts. So if they neuter my artifacts, I needed something else. And this is that something else. We already looked at Life Gain Shieldred. Thief of Sanity. Thief of Sanity is another powered up 3-drop. Whenever it deals combat damage to a player, look at the top 3 cards of your library, of that player's library, exile one of them face down, put the rest into their graveyard. You may cast the card for as long as it remains exiled, and mana of any type can be spent to cast it. This is an amazing effect. This is better than Hypnotic Spectre. I do not care about removing stuff from their hand, though I could add discard effects in here that do care about that. But if I do that, I'll have to play even more Graveyard Exile. So keep that in mind. Westgate Regent is a 5-drop, super solid attacker. Very solid. And it has a bonus ability of making your opponent discard a card for a ward if they want to target it. So it's a card advantage effect. It doesn't look like it is, but it is. So, Wildfire Devils. Wildfire Devils is the most home run red spell I've probably ever seen. It costs 4. Whenever Wildfire Devils enters the battlefield at the beginning of your upkeep, choose a player at random. That player exiles an instant or sorcery card from their graveyard. Copy that card. You may cast a copy without paying its mana cost. That's ridiculously powered up. And this is another graveyard steal factor. So from the creature base here, you have Author of Shadows, you have Rakasha, and you have Wildfire Devils. That is 3 forms of graveyard steal, all of which are amazing. And finally, here's the ultimate theme on card of the deck. At 6 mana, you got Xanathar Guild Kingpin. At the beginning of your upkeep, choose target opponent until end of turn. That player can't cast spells. You may look at the top card of their library anytime. You may play the top card of their library, and you may spend mana as though it were mana of any color cast the spells. So if it gets back around to your turn and they haven't killed this, you're going to start wrecking of them. Wrecking somebody real hard. And obviously, you don't... Let's see. Until end of turn, that player can't cast spells. You may look at the top card of the library. You may play. Play is the key word here. So you don't play a land for turn. You look at the top card. If it's a land, you slam that down and play it. And then you play everything else from the top of their library. Unless you get land. Land sucks, but you deal with whatever comes up. So, all right, on to the enchantments. So I'm gonna skip down. All right, Treachery was put in for more permanent base steal. Super relevant, hyper relevant, always good. Black Market Connections does a huge number of things, but again, this is why I'm leery about putting even more life loss in the deck, because this is already in here. You create a treasure token and you draw a card, and you pretty much always lose 3 life a turn with this. All the time. Excuse me. I need to drink a tea. Okay. And now we have an awkward card in the deck. This card is meta specific. It could be something else. But bottom line here is I play someone that plays an enchantment deck all the time. Alright? It's powerful, it's fast, and it plays a whole bunch of neutering effects for artifacts that I would normally use to kill his enchantments, such as Boom Pile and Oblivion Stone. So I was looking, and I was like, there has to be some way in these colors to have like a nuclear bomb effect for enchantments. And that's Oriflux. Each other enchantment gains during your upkeep, pay 2 or sacrifice this enchantment. So that is a nuclear bomb effect against an all enchantment deck. And it is a flex spot. If you don't need it, fine, swap it out for something else. Alright, we're going to go through instance. Baleful Mastery, I very often play this for 2. Bedevil, super modal, destroy many things spell. Corrosive Charm, same idea. Artifact, non-black creature, bounce permanent. Oh, excuse me. Cyclonic Rift, same idea. Hurl Through Hell could change to something else, but it is on theme. It exiles, and very often, like, I need something exiled. I need it to be gone, 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 gone. Like, I don't want to replay it. So, arguably, you could play a cheaper effect that just exiles. But sometimes you want to steal the creature. So, Colgan's Command, super value driven. This is the long think of the deck, where you can get a creature back if you need it. But 99% of the time, you're blowing up an artifact and you're dealing 3 damage, 2 damage, and maybe discarding cards sometimes for the opponent, maybe. Now you're playing blue, so mana drain, boom. Pack Negation, counter. Prismari Command, same idea as Colgan's Command, destroy artifact, 2 damage, treasure token, draw 2 cards, discard 2 cards. Most common combination is 2 damage or no artifact. So, ooh, Sapphire Dragon. Sapphire Dragon was put in here in an effort to put in more counter spells, but at the same time recognizing that I could maybe use a little bit more creatures. Maybe, like I got 20, but Sapphire Dragon kind of sneaks in. So the only issue is I almost never play the dragon because this card could be something else. It could turn into something else, honestly. But I like the effect. Very often, though, you're playing your commander instead of this, and you're only playing Sapphire Dragon when you run completely out of everything else. So, Stinging Study, again, more loss of life, more card draw. Strict Serenade was put in here to have a quick counter spell, but having played the older version of this a long time ago, it may eventually just get cut and turn into regular counter spell. So, terminate, destroy a creature, a vampiric tutor, because you're playing black. Like, play the tutors, man. Play the best possible tutors. We're gonna browse through lands really quick because I don't think there's anything new or standing out. Castle Vantress is on the cut list because it's really not good. So eventually that will be swapped out for something else. Let's see. Oh yeah, Volrath Stronghold. The long-term, maybe get a creature back if you need it type effect. So that's in here, and there's no reason not to play it. It's 1 card. It taps for colorless mana. So yeah. Wasteland is here in case you need to destroy a land. Arguably, I could probably just take out Castle Vantress and put in Strip Mine. arguably. I don't find myself needing to destroy lands often. Let's see. So I got Wasteland to destroy land here. And I think I just have a bounce effect for on Corrosive. Yeah, it's a bounce effect. That's not great. Don't think any of the creatures destroy lands. Huh. So that might be a good addition. Just put another strip mine. And I'll search up strip mine so you can see what I'm talking about. Oops, keep typing wrong. Strip mine. So sacrifice strip mine, destroy target land. Boom. So I feel like strip mine is probably going to go in. Probably. So, and then down here in the Planeswalkers, you got Ashiok Nightmare Muse. Return target non-land permanent to its owner's hand. That player exiles a card from their hand. So it's bounce, exile, card advantage. So it's not just bounce. You're actually gaining +1, well, let's say -1 card advantage. Dak Faden. Dak Faden is here for the pure ability of stealing that artifact. His other abilities never ever come up. He always dies. So, yeah. Jace the Mind Sculptor. You know what Jace does. Draws cards, bounces things, manipulates the library, does everything you want it to do. So, Liliana's Death Majesty is here for some occasional creature return. The whole self-mill is somewhat relevant because I can return my own permanents from my graveyard with other cards like Wildfire Devils and Shieldred. So you got instant sorcery, creature. I don't think there's Junji, Kari, so creature, instant sorcery. So it's a okay draw effect, and the -3 ability is good. I've almost got it to 7 sometimes. But if you get it to 7, 7's great. So -7, destroy all non-zombie creatures. So Nicobolus Dragon God is here because it's amazing, and even though it's triple black and difficult to cast sometimes, completely worth it. Destroy target creature, planeswalker, draw a card. Each opponent exiles a card from their hand or a permanent they control. So +1 is 2x card advantage. So 2 times card advantage. And Nicobolus Dragon God has all loyalty abilities of other planeswalkers on the battlefield. That doesn't normally come up. Just to be honest, it doesn't normally come up. So, and then you have bigger Nicobolus. Destroy target non-creature permanent, gain control of target creature. You're never using the -9. You're never. So, I guess technically this is another form of land destruction. But let's be real here. It cost 8. So add that other strip mine. Obnixilis, draw a card, destroy creature. Boom, boom, boom. Down to sorceries. So we got Damnation, Demonic Tutor, Dreadbore, Molten Collapse. I'll actually read Molten Collapse because it's very new. Choose one. If you descend in this turn, you may choose both instead. Descend, I believe, is just a permanent going into the graveyard, so from your side. But even then, who cares about the bonus, honestly? I'm literally using it for 2 mana, destroy target creature or planeswalker, or destroy target non-creature, non-land permanent with mana value 1 or less. So that's Sol Ring. So sneaking this in gave you some very sneaky artifact destruction. So, and the final card, which is very new to the deck, Nightmare Unmaking. Nightmare Unmaking got put in because I realized the deck needs more exile. Whether it's permanent exile or graveyard exile, it needed more exile. Exile each creature with power greater than the number of cards in your hand. Or exile each creature with power less than the number of cards in your hand. So 99.9% of the time it's greater, and you're probably out of cards, and this is the 1 card in your hand, and you're nuking the board. So, and they don't get it back. No, they don't. And that is Lord Xander the Collector version 8. And so we are good. And we're just going to briefly look over what's different. Okay, Bantu's Last Reckoning out, obviously. It got replaced by the Exile Destroy All, so... Expressive Iteration was a flex spot. It got kicked out. I honestly think I shoved in... what did I shove in? Can't remember, but it got kicked out for something else. Obviously, it's good, but... I think it was Gilded Drake. I think I justified this by taking this out and putting in Gilded Drake, because it's like, Gilded Drake costs 2, this costs 2, Gilded Drake nets me a card from their side. Why not do it? So, ooh, Capsize. Capsize is that flex spot. Where that enchantment destroying card got put in. If I didn't need that enchantment destroying card, I would just play Capsize all day. So, Reinterpret got taken out for that cheaper counterspell, which may eventually just turn into regular counterspell for 2. So, but feel free to try Reinterpret. It's fun. It's powerful. You counter their spell and play your 6-drop on their turn. That's the whole idea. So, I think that's it. Yep, that is it. All right. So, that is it for our stream. This has been Matthew over at Channel 35, HND the Hand, and I hope you enjoyed it. Please like, share, and subscribe, and I will be doing other updates on my other Magic the Gathering decks. See ya!